It is currently Tuesday, October 6th, 4:29 p.m. For me anyway. Still have no internet, and I'm very grumpy about that. I'm going to complain about that for every single video today, okay? We're going to talk about domain and range. All right, let's look at some previous problems. Ooh, there's some good alliteration right there. This not that parabola. This parabola over here. What do we have right here? We had a downward opening parabola. The vertex is at 2, 3. And the domain is all real numbers, right? Every x value is covered here. What's the range? The range is all the y values. The smallest we can get, well, we can go off as low as we want, negative infinity. The biggest we can get is that y value right here at the vertex. Look at this parabola. Domain is all real numbers. Again, all the x's are good. The range, the smallest value we can get, occurs at the vertex. And the biggest we can get for y values is positive infinity. So it'd be -2 to positive infinity for the range. Is it a coincidence that the maximum and the minimum, whichever one exists, is at the vertex? Of course not. Not a coincidence at all. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. All right. So for domain and range, domain of a quadratic is always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. The range depends. Is there a max or is there a minimum? If there's a maximum, then it can go down to negative infinity. And the biggest it can get is that y coordinate at the vertex. We're calling it k. So this is if there's a max, or if a is less than 0. Or if there's a minimum, the minimum value, again, is that y coordinate of the vertex, and the maximum value is positive infinity. This is if there's a min. So this is for quadratics. Let's apply this. This is going to be a short video. Example 6. That's good because we've been having a lot of long videos, and I'm trying to keep these short for you guys, but my definition of short keeps changing as we go into more and more complicated sections. So find the domain and the range for the following. Part A, going to be -2 times x plus 2 squared plus 3 is f of x. F of x. Writing the function a little backwards today, right? So remember, domain's the easy part. I do every single problem in your homework right now. Domain, all real numbers. Negative infinity to infinity. Done. I don't even have to look at the problem. If it's a quadratic, this is the domain. The range is the harder part, right? So to find the range, we have to know, is there a maximum or is there a minimum? Look at the value of a. Coefficient out in their front. A is negative, which means it's a downwards parabola. Since it's a downwards parabola, it's a maximum. The minimum, well, we can be as negative as we want. The maximum is the y coordinate of the vertex. It's k. Remember your standard form. The vertex is -2, 3. The y coordinate of the vertex is 3. That tells us our domain and range. That's it. Kind of nice. A little good news in math class every once in a while. Or maybe it's not good news and this makes no sense. But if that's the case, we have part B just for you. All right. Let's look at part B. Part B says find the domain and range of this function. X is equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. So you should get a little sad because this one's in general form instead of standard form. Again, domain, easy. I know the domain of any quadratic. Negative infinity to positive infinity. The range, well, this one, a is positive, right? The parabola opens up. So the minimum is k. And the maximum is infinity. Unfortunately, this is in general form, not standard form. I don't know k. We got to find it. Okay? Got to find k. Remember, the vertex occurs on the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a. Well, that's going to be negative 2 over 2 times a. Negative 2 over 6. That's negative a third. Oh no, what am I doing to myself? On the day I don't have a calculator. I could pull one up probably. So that's the h. The k value is what happens, is the y coordinate on the axis of symmetry. We find f of negative a third. And that's going to be 3 times negative a third squared plus 2 times negative a third. Ooh, that's a negative. It doesn't look like one. I'm going to write a note to myself because I can't tell. Plus 1. And you type this into a calculator and you get 3 times, square this, you get positive a ninth. Multiply this is minus 2/3 plus 1. 3 times 1/9, that's 1/3. Because that's 3/9. 3/9 reduces to 1/3. 1/3 minus 2/3, negative a third plus 1. 1/3 minus 2/3, negative a third plus 1 is 2/3, positive 2/3. Okay? That's the y coordinate. We did all of that, right? This is our value of k. This is a y coordinate at the vertex. Only reason we wanted that is because k goes up here. This is our domain and range. So the answer is way up here. We just had to do a little bit of work to find out what that y coordinate was. All right, and that's how you find the domain and range of these things. Enjoy a shorter video, although still not as short as I thought it was going to be.